Hi everyone and welcome to class. My name is Kay, your English teacher, first additional language for grade 9. Thank you for joining me and let's get started. Okay, so today we are still busy with language. Remember yesterday we did paper 1, which is about language. So today we are going to be focusing on cartoon analysis. Okay. So before we start, there were a couple of concerns and questions that you guys had yesterday. So I want us to first talk about those for a moment and then we'll continue the lesson, okay? So the first thing was, there was a person who said at their school, they are taught to write a summary in a paragraph form, okay? So for my research that I've done, we use point form for both English home language and English first additional language, okay? But I have seen a lesson plan whereby you use paragraph form, okay? So maybe your school, they might be teaching you to use paragraph form, but the most important thing that you should do is to follow the exam instructions, okay? So if you are instructed to use a point form, then you should use a point form, okay? It is unlikely that you are taught to use a paragraph form, okay? But at the same time, I don't want you to stop what you have been taught at your school, okay? But based on the June exams, the national June exams for grade 9, it was point form for both English home language and English first additional language, okay? And then the time allocation as well. I saw a couple of you guys were talking about the paper being 3 hours. Well, that's not the case. The paper is 2 hours or less, depending on the amount of questions, okay? Paper 1 is 2 hours or less, depending on the number of questions, okay? It will depend on whether your school is going to be writing the national exam or a district exam. So yeah, but it's definitely not 3 hours, okay? Right, as I said yesterday, we tackled the English paper 1, which is about language. The section A from that paper, it's comprehension, okay? We said that when you're doing a comprehension, you need to read the text more than once. You need to read for understanding in order to be able to answer questions accordingly that require you to use your own words, okay? We said you need to avoid reading for answers and start reading for understanding, okay? You know what I mean by reading for answers. That is you basically just going through the comprehension to look for answers, okay? Before you start answering any questions, you need to read for understanding, okay? Hence, it is called a comprehension, which means understanding what is written, okay? So it's very, very important that you read for understanding more than reading for answers, okay? If you can read for understanding, then you'll be able to answer any question that comes along with the comprehension. Okay, we said the second section was summary. Again, there, you read the passage at least 2 times to make sure you understand the content really well, which is pretty much the same thing as when you are reading a comprehension. It's very important that you know and understand what you are reading, okay? We said you do not add your opinions when it comes to summaries, okay? No background knowledge and no personal information. Use your own words to express the main idea and key points, okay? So you are basically repeating the same thing that you've just read, but you are using your own words, okay? And then the final section for paper 1, which is language and which is going to be our main focus for today. It's the section with the most marks. You want to get as many as you can correct in this section, okay? The first part of this section, you will be given an advertisement or a cartoon strip, okay? Or perhaps you could be given both to analyze, okay? And in the second part of this section, it is for you to put to use your editing skills and language, okay? So this section you'll be rewriting, combining sentences and completing sentences, okay? This is where your speech, grammar, punctuation, vocabulary, sentence construction, and more will be tested, okay? Right, as I said, that today we are going to be focusing on section C of paper 1, which is your language, okay? I said the first part of this section, you are going to be analyzing an advertisement, or a cartoon strip, or even both, okay? I think in most cases, you will be doing both. So it's very important that you know how to analyze an ad as well as how to analyze a cartoon strip, okay? We have done an advertisement analysis. So today we are going to focus on the cartoon analysis. Okay, cartoons, they tell a story in a few images, okay? They are easily identifiable characters to form the basis for sketches, okay? So their characters are easily identifiable. They comment, provoke thoughts, and illustrate a whole range of issues from politics, discrimination, current trends, education, and other social issues. Okay, so basically that's what a cartoon is in a nutshell. They tell a story in just like one image or even two images, okay? Their characters are easily identifiable, and they comment and provoke thoughts in a lot of issues, even entertainment things. Right, so for exams, you might be asked to explore the humor, the tone, and the character's body language and facial expressions, okay? So when it comes to exams, they are going to ask you questions based on the humor of the cartoon, the tone, and the character's body language and facial expressions, okay? So here are the common questions for cartoons. You might be asked, what does the cartoon mean? Why is it funny? What has been used to make it funny? How does the cartoon's facial expression in frame 3 change in comparison to frame 1 and 2? Describe the cartoon's body language. And do you think the cartoon's behavior is acceptable? And you will have to support your answer. Okay, so these are like the common questions that you will come across when you're writing exams in terms of cartoon analysis. Right, here's an example in front of you right now. You have a comic strip, okay? I'm going to read out loud the questions, and then you guys are going to answer on our chat box, okay? So firstly, I want you to have a look at it. Okay, this is Haga the Horrible by Dick Browning. Okay, so I'm going to read. There's a fly in my beer. Okay, that's frame 1. Frame 2, slip. And then frame 3, thirsty little fly, wasn't he? Okay. So I want you to read this comic strip again on your own. And then I will ask you some questions. Okay, I will start asking some questions. Okay, remember, if you are writing exams, you would have to answer the questions in full sentences, okay? Remember, it's very important that before you answer any question, you read the instructions properly, okay? So here they are saying, look closely at the comic strip below and answer the questions that follow in full sentences, okay? So if you're writing exams, you would have to answer in full sentences. But right now, because of time, you don't have to type in full sentences. You can just type your answer, okay? So the first question is, where is the story set? So what's the setting for this cartoon? In a bar. Well done, Portia. That's the correct answer. It's in a bar, guys. Okay. Well done to everyone. I'm seeing your answers are coming through. Okay, so now let's have a look at frame 2. In frame 2, how do you know the characters have moved their heads? In frame 2, how do you know that the characters have moved their heads? So just have a look at frame 2. How do we know that they have moved their heads? Okay, the question is, Megan, you are saying that they looked up, but how do you know they looked up? Okay, that's correct to Portia. So basically, the lines are around their heads. Just look at the pointer on your screen, the lines. Do you see the lines here? And then there's another line this side and there. That is how we know that they have moved their heads, the lines. Okay. The third question. What action does the sound word onomatopoeia slip represent? Remember your figures of speech, onomatopoeia. So the word slip, what does it represent? What does it represent? Well done to Princess Yeliswa for your answer for the previous question. Okay, Ricky is saying a loud sip. What do others think? The question is, what action does the word what action does the sound word onomatopoeia slip represent? Okay, a loud sip, we can take that. The fly drinking the beer. Okay, drinking. A loud sip, we can take that. That would be correct. Drinking, gulping, sucking, it's fine. We can take those answers. Those are all correct. Okay. Now, my next question is, do you think the sound was soft or loud? Explain why. Do you think? Guys, I'm going to give you a chance to speak, okay? But not for this cartoon strip. We are still going to do 2 more. I will definitely give you a chance to speak. Okay. Portia is saying, I think it was loud because this is an exclamation mark. Okay. Okay, loud because there's an exclamation mark at the end. Okay, that is correct, but what else is there? Exclamation mark is correct, but what else? I said, guys, yes, thank you, Raiden. Bold writing, okay? Well done to Portia as well. Okay, so we know that it was definitely loud because of, you know, it was written or it is written in large print or bold writing, just as you guys have said, as well as the exclamation mark. Okay. Following question is, do you agree or disagree that the fly was drunk after drinking the beer? Back up your answer by referring to the comic strip, okay? Let me read the question again. Do you agree or disagree that the fly was drunk after drinking the beer? Okay. Back up your answer by referring to the comic strip, okay? So you will say you agree or disagree, and then you will have to support your answer. Okay, your answer would be in frame 3. Okay, have a look at frame 3. Keolin is saying yes, it's lying on the corner. Amukelani is saying, I agree because of the way it's flying. How is it flying? What about the lines, Amukelani? Let's talk about the lines, guys. Are these lines straight? What is happening here? It's dizzy. Okay, Gabby just said I agree because of the trail behind it. Okay, so basically we all agree that it was drunk, okay? Because of the trails behind it. Okay, so our following question is, translate this comic strip into your home language. Okay, so I know you guys have different home languages. So how would you summarize this in your own home language? How would you translate this in your own home language? There's a fly in someone's beer. It jumped in or it slipped, and then now it's leaving, and it somehow seems as if it's drunk. So how would you translate this in your home language? Okay, if you speak English at home, then it's fine. For those who don't speak English at home, for those who speak Afrikaans, Xhosa, Zulu, I like Yolisa's interpretation. So which language is this, Yolisa? I'm assuming it's Xhosa. Okay, let's move on, guys. Well done to Yolisa. The purpose of this comic strip is to inform, entertain, or persuade. Okay, choose one. The purpose of this comic strip is to inform, entertain, or persuade. You must choose one: inform, entertain, or persuade. Thank you to Kiolen as well for his interpretation. Okay, guys, let's answer this question. I said the purpose of this comic strip is to inform, entertain, or persuade. You must choose one. What is the purpose of this comic strip? That's correct. It's to entertain, okay? Right, now I want you to look at frame 3. Have a look at frame 3. Identify the punctuation used after the word he. That is in frame 3, and explain why it has been used. Okay, there we go. Well done. It is a question mark. So why it has been used? Why it has been used? Okay, it has been used to ask a question. It has been used to ask a question, okay? So this text would be classified as a drama, romance, or humor. You have to choose one. This text would be classified as drama, romance, or humor. Yes, it would be humor. Humor is the correct answer. Right, so the final question is, why do you think this comic strip is funny? Why do you think this comic strip is funny? Okay, the fly got drunk. Because a fly drank beer and got drunk. Right, okay. So you guys have an idea of how to answer questions that come with a cartoon or a cartoon strip. And as if you can remember at the beginning of our lesson, I shared the common questions when it comes to cartoon strips. And the question that we've just answered right now, in terms of why is it funny, it's one of the questions that are very, very popular when it comes to analyzing cartoons, okay? So let's move on to this one. Okay, so with this one, I'll definitely allow you guys to speak. I'll give you a chance to speak. So have a look at this one. It's very short and straightforward. Okay, those are the answers for the cartoon strip that we've just done. You can just have a look at them quickly. But you guys did well. I loved your answers. Right. Okay, so here's the second one. Okay, so I'm going to give 5 people a chance to answer, okay? So the first question is, in fact, I'm going to give you a chance to first have a look at the comic strip. Have a look at it. I'm sure you can tell that this person is at a garage. But the picture is just so strange. There's something unusual about this image, but we'll talk about it. Okay, so the first question is, what issue or event do you think the cartoon deals with? What issue or event do you think the cartoon deals with? Okay. Fuel is expensive and uses a lot of his money. Okay, that's what Keolen said. The price of petrol going up. Okay, Ricky and Bobby just said this thing is robbing him. That is not how you are going to answer when it comes to exams. You wouldn't get a mark for that. You can't say this thing is robbing him. You need to use formal language when you're answering questions, and you need to be specific, okay? So the person marking your paper wouldn't understand what are you saying by saying this thing is robbing him. Okay. So some of you got it correct. The issue or event that the cartoon deals with here is the rising petrol fuel price, okay? It's the rising petrol price. That's the issue that the cartoon is dealing with, okay? Guys, I said if you want to speak, you can just raise your hand and then we will unmute you and then you can share your answer. Okay, but if you want to type on our chat box, that is still fine. So second question, describe the action taking place in the cartoon. Describe the action taking place in the cartoon. So I think Robbie, if I'm saying his name correctly, had answered this question, but he used informal language, okay? You can't say this thing. You need to be specific on what you're talking about. So his answer would be suitable for this part of the question. Okay, Yolisa is saying the fuel machine is pointing at the man who has his hands up. Okay, that's good. What do others think? Guys, if you are saying robbery, that is not describing. They didn't say name what is happening there. Describe the action taking place in the cartoon. Remember, I said it's very important that you read the instructions properly, okay? So if you are asked to describe, then you need to describe, not to just use one word. Okay. All right, let me just tell you guys what is happening, okay? It seems as if the petrol pump is trying to rob the customer. I think Yoliswa got that one correct. The petrol pump is trying to rob the customer. Okay. Right, that question, what does Zabiro exaggerate in the cartoon and why? So what is being exaggerated here and why? What is being exaggerated here and why? Gaby's answer would be correct as well. The man is being held at gunpoint by a fuel machine. Yes, that is fine. Okay, now let's answer this one. Third question, I said, what does Zabiro exaggerate in the cartoon and why? So what is being exaggerated here and why? We've just spoke about it like right now. Price hike, that's what James just said. It throws the keys up. Okay, guys, what is being exaggerated here is the fact that high petrol prices is like robbery. So the prices are just too high that it feels like robbery. Okay, so this person, Zapiro, which is the writer of this comic strip, he is exaggerating that petrol prices are so high that it feels like robbery. That is why the fuel pump is the one that is kind of like robbing the customer. Okay. So the writer, who is Zabiro, is exaggerating that the fuel prices are high, that it feels like robbery. Okay. Number 4, explain what comparisons Zapiro tries to make with this cartoon. Explain what comparisons Zapiro tries to make with this cartoon. It's the same thing as number 3 that we've just spoke about. It's pretty much, if you look closely, it's pretty much the same thing, because number 3 says, okay, let me first read your answers. So that would be correct to Yoliswa. Well done. So as I said, number 3 and number 4, the answers are very much similar, because with number 3, you are being asked, what does Zapiro exaggerate in the cartoon and why? So as we have said, that he is exaggerating the fuel price, okay, the high fuel price, okay? So for number 4, you are being asked again, explain what comparison Zapiro tries to make with this cartoon. So he is comparing the high fuel prices to robbery. Okay, and then the final question is, why do you think the man says again? Why do you think the man says again? Why do you think the man says again? Ethan, I said if you want to share your answer, you are more than welcome to raise your hand, and then we will unmute you and then you can share your answer with everyone else. Well done to this person said, meaning it has happened before. And then this person is saying, he says again, because this happens almost every year. Kiolen says, because it happens a lot. Can you please unmute James? He had raised his hand. James. 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 Okay. We are going to have to move on. He says again, because he paid for it and the price went up, that is Portia. Okay, so basically the man is saying again because the petrol prices rise regularly. Okay, so this is something that is happening almost like all the time. That is why he is saying again. Okay. Right, so we have done 2 examples already. Now I want us to attempt to answer a comic strip from last year's June exam paper, okay? From last year's National June exam paper. Let's try and answer. Okay, here's last year's National June exam paper for grade 9, section C. As you can see, where you were required to analyze a cartoon. Okay, it says read the text, read the cartoon text E below and answer the set of questions, okay? There it is, text E. Okay, this is a Garfield cartoon. So frame 1, a tree just fell on my car. Okay, we move on to frame 2. What should I do? John, here's what you do. Okay, we're moving to frame 3. Walk to the store to buy my food. Okay, I'm gonna read that one more time. A tree just fell on my car. What should I do? John, here's what you do. Walk to the store to buy my food. Okay, in this cartoon, the man's name is John and his cat's name is Garfield. Okay. So now they are saying refer to frame 1. There's frame 1. Question is, describe Garfield's body language. Describe Garfield's body language. Okay, let's see your answers. Yes, he seems not interested in what he is saying. Okay, I understand that he seems not interested in what he's saying, but let's describe his body language as well. His body. Does he seem worried? Does he seem shocked based on what John is saying? Garfield is standing still. He is standing still. He has an indifferent expression on his face. So those of you who said he seemed bored and stuff, it's fine. That's correct. Yes, he looks relaxed, not worried. Yeah, he seems relaxed and not worried. Okay. So number 2, why would the reader not necessarily believe John? Why would the reader not necessarily believe John? Okay, so you as the reader, why would you not believe John? Look at John's facial expression in frame 1. James, just make sure that you are in a quiet space before we unmute you, okay? Because there was a lot of noise before, we couldn't hear what you were saying. Okay. So why would the reader not necessarily believe John? Somebody said his eyes, but what about his eyes? Remember, guys, as I said, when you are answering questions, just make sure that you are thinking about the person who's going to mark your paper. They can't assume this is what you're trying to say. You must explain yourself so that they know exactly what it is that you are saying. So what about his eyes? You must say his eyes looked a certain way. His facial expression looked a certain way. You can't just say his face or his eyes. Yes, James, he looks happy. Princess just said he doesn't seem to look like his car has been crashed by a tree. He seems amazed. Okay, so basically his body language suggests excitement rather than anxiety. He has like a smiling face, outstretched his arms. For somebody who is concerned that a tree has fallen on his car, he seems to be excited rather than worried. Yeah, definitely, Megan, that's correct. He seems to not want to go to the store. Okay, so basically for number 2, he seems excited rather than worried, okay? Let's move on to frame 2. Okay, there's frame 2 over there. Why does the cartoonist use ellipses? Remember, guys, we spoke about ellipses last week, and we pretty much described why do we use an ellipsis. Okay, guys, we're answering 4.2. Why does the cartoonist use ellipses? Remember, guys, we said an ellipsis, it's those 3 dots, those punctuation mark 3 dots. Why have they been used? Raiden just said to indicate that he is not done speaking. Okay, to show us that the sentence is not finished. That's what Portia just said. Okay, so basically the ellipsis suggests that Garfield is waiting for John to turn around after tapping his shoulder. So as he is saying, John, here's what you do. He is waiting for him to turn around after tapping his shoulder. And as you can see in frame 3, after John did turn around, he continues to tell him to walk to the store. Okay, so an ellipsis there has been used to suggest that Garfield is waiting for John to turn around. Okay, so if you said an ellipsis suggests that Garfield's thoughts or words are incomplete and will continue in the next frame, that is still correct. Okay, so for those who said his thoughts or words are incomplete, then that is fine. You would get a mark for that. Okay. Now 4.3, we are going to answer 4.3.1. Why is the word walk written in bold? Why is the word walk written in bold? There it is. Why is it written in bold? What is it that is being emphasized there? What is the emphasis there? I've already given you the answer, or the first part of the answer. The word walk, it has been written in bold to emphasize something, but what is it that is being emphasized? Well done to Ricky and Bobby. Okay, so basically Garfield emphasizes in his thoughts that John has no option but to walk to buy his food since driving is not possible. So it emphasizes that John has no option but to walk and go buy his food, okay? So Ricky and Bobby would get a mark because you just said to state that he still wants his food, okay? Princess just said to emphasize that since his car is crashed, he should walk. Yes, that would be correct as well, okay? I think let's do this one more and then we will continue tomorrow. Right, yeah, choose the correct answer to complete the following sentence. Garfield's tone in this frame is what? Is it friendly? Is it gentle? Is it sarcastic? Is it angry? Let's talk about the tone. Is it friendly, gentle, sarcastic, or angry? Okay, I see a lot of sarcastic. Sarcastic is the correct answer. Okay. I think for today we should leave it there, and then tomorrow we will answer 4.3.3 as well as 4.4. I just want to ask you guys quickly, do you want the question paper? Because if you do, I can upload it onto our website. I did show you guys how to go there, but I will upload the memo only after we have completed doing this question paper. Okay, so I will upload it with the memo as well. Right, okay, so I won't upload it until we've finished, okay, guys? I need us to first finish answering the questions, and then, or maybe I can upload the question paper, but the memo, I will definitely upload it after we have finished analyzing and answering the questions, because I don't want you to rely on the memo for answers. I want you to know that it is okay to have your own answers. They don't have to be exactly the same as the one that are in the memo, as long as they are correct and you are able to support your answers, okay? So we will continue with this tomorrow. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.